Once you have finished with the entrance counseling, you are ready to pick up a loan packet from our office. All you need to do is come to the office and ask for one at the front window. If you are an online student, we can mail you one. Simply call the office and ask us to put one in the mail for you. If you aren't an online student, you can also ask us to mail one to you. However, you will need to submit it in person to our office. Now that you have your loan packet, you can get started on filling it out. Page 2 of the loan packet is the student budget worksheet. This worksheet helps you break down your income and expenses to help you better understand what your need may be. The first section asks you to identify your income. If you are employed, you will want to indicate how much money you receive monthly after taxes. Additionally, you will need to indicate any other forms of income you receive, be it from additional financial aid, from friends, or from family. Make sure you indicate money you will receive once in school if you are planning to reduce work hours while in school. Step 2 asks you to identify fixed expenses. Fixed expenses are described as expenses that don't vary much from month to month. As you can see from this list, these costs include tuition, books, rent, insurance, utilities, etc. Step 3 asks you to identify variable expenses. Variable expenses are described as expenses that can fluctuate from month to month. Many students target these expenses when trying to cut monthly costs. Things like eating out and entertainment can be adjusted or removed to allow for savings, but as you can see on this list, they include many potential costs. Step 4 asks you to determine how much money you need to borrow. This is a loan and you will need to pay it back. Students are encouraged to borrow what they actually need rather than taking the total amount offered. By filling out Step 4, you should be able to determine what your actual need is. If your need is greater than the amount offered, you should sit down and meet with your advisor. This is the student tip sheet. Please review this sheet to help you better understand the breakdown for each section. As you can see, it gives you basic formulas for calculating tuition and books and supply fees. Also note that these are monthly expenses, not yearly, so plan accordingly. Page 3 is the Student Loan Borrow worksheet. The first few questions ask you about your enrolled program as well as your expected completion date of your educational goal. You are also asked whether you have filled out a student educational plan, which is strongly recommended. If you have not, you can meet with academic counselor Eli Villanueva to do so. Questions 4 through 6 ask you about the aggregate loan limit, which basically refers to the total amount of money you can borrow while finishing your undergraduate degree. You can find these limits in the Entrance Counseling Guide for Direct Loan Borrowers booklet that came with your loan packet. The next 2 questions ask you to indicate whether you have previously taken any loans out and the amount you intend to take out this year respectively. You can obtain information about previous loans taken out at www.nslds.ed.gov. Question 7 has you utilize the information from questions 4 through 6 to determine how much money you have left that you could borrow in the future. Lastly, question 8 asks you to use the information from questions 5 and 6 to determine estimates for monthly payments. Once you have your total from the 2 previous questions, you can look to page 11 from the Entrance Counseling booklet and look at the chart to see what your estimated payments should be. Jumping to page 4, we come to the loan request form. The top of the form asks you for general information. The next part of this form asks you to indicate whether your loan is subsidized or unsubsidized and whether you want it dispersed over 2 semesters or for 1 specific semester. Also, please indicate the purpose of the loan and the expected graduation date as well.